I thought we had a deal. I gave you all I had, put you in front of friends. It was me and you, for it was one of them. I introduced you to them, I should have seen it then. It was never about me, it's what I could do for you, what you could get about me, who I could introduce you to. I knew the truth, still there was nothing I would do for you. A fool for you, you break my legs, still jump through hoops for you. I thought we had a deal. 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 It's hard to let you go when I'm still holding on. Said I should leave you, I don't need you, should be moving on. This shit is stupid hard, and I ain't ready for it. Said I should leave you, I don't need you, I ain't ready for it. They weren't there for it, no, they weren't there, were they? They weren't there when she despaired to have her prayers working. She wanted to die daily, and I was 9 maybe. I'm on the couch with mom, talking about don't cry, baby. We'll be alright, baby, yeah, we gon' make it through. I'm scared to death inside, but I know I can't let it through. I ain't know where to turn, I didn't know what to do. You gave me hope when there was none, I owe my life to you. I thought we had a deal.
Leave me not ready to let you go, let you go. I'm begging, don't leave me. Take anything you want, everything if you want it.
You gave my life purpose before it had any. You gave me courage when I didn't have any. We were the best of friends before I had any. I gave you all I had. You turned your back to me. You set a trap for me, I never seen it coming. You had me blind to if I didn't want to feel you numb it. You left my life a wreck, and I hate you for it. I'm still in love with you, and I hate you for it.
Yes, sir. Welcome to St. John Live. My name is Mike St. John. I am in long-term recovery. My sobriety clean date's June the 1st, 2016. How y'all doing out there on this Monday night at 9 o'clock, man? Grateful to be here. We got 22 in here popping, man. Just been an awesome day, man. You know, the title of this is What It's Like to Be Free. And, you know, today we're living in freedom, man. You know, recovery is awesome. God is good. We're just blessed, man. We're blessed. But I want to welcome everybody in here, man. I'm going to give some shout outs here. Some of my page sponsors, One Stop Phone Shop out of London, Kentucky, 606-657-2750. Josh Maxey and Daryl Hudson up by Walmart in London. Give a shout out here to Lake Cumberland Recovery, 606-341-1160. There are beds available. If you got a loved one struggling, send me a private message. We'll get them in contact with the people they need to get in contact with. If y'all don't care, man, hit that share button. Let's get this shared out into the groups, man. If you got a family member, man, send it to them in a private message. I'm not asking you to tag them in the message, but let's get it out there, man. We're losing too many people, man. There's too many people still stuck, suffering. They don't know the way out, man. They're scared to say, hey, I need help, which is the best 3 words you will ever say and the best rewarding words you will ever say. If you don't care, post your sobriety clean dates. Let us know where you're watching from. My clean date is June the 1st, 2016. And I'm coming at you live from Richmond, Kentucky. Let me get that in the comments here. Let's get it shared out, man. But just let us know you're in here. Stay in these comments hot, man. Let us know if you're going through anything struggling. I'll try to keep an eye on these comments, man. And, you know, it's grateful to be here. Another one, my intro and outro music. I've got a new outro when we get done with our live show tonight, brought to you by Dollar Green. If y'all don't care, go check out Dollar Green. He released a new album, Story About a Boy. It's on all music platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, whatever, man. He's got a powerful album. That's the concert I was live at here about a month ago, me and my wife. And, you know, it's just pretty powerful, man. He's the real deal. Sally Devine, welcome. Lisa Marie Reed, welcome. Joe Price, welcome. Mark Sanford, welcome. Travis Wilder, I love you, boy, welcome. My wife, Marie St. John, watching from the living room, welcome. Brittany Clemens, always in here. Toby Lee. Wish I could stay tuned in. I'm at work. You can watch it tomorrow, Toby. Get to work, make that money. Nick Whitman. Hello, bub. Love you, man. Mark Sanford, Alvin McGuire. Who else we got in here? Donna Martin, she's in here tonight. Isaiah House. Let us know what treatment facility you went through, man. Mine's the Hope Center. If you went through the Isaiah House, post it. Recovery works. If you're on the MAT, it don't matter. You're welcome. We don't judge as long as you're living life responsible and taking care of your family and helping people. Hey, I love you. You hear me? Valerie, I can't say that last name. I'm sorry. She's watching from Somerset, Kentucky. I will try to say it. Herrera or something like that. Yeah, all right then. Karen Smith McGuire. Toby Lee. Let's see. Mark Sanford is watching from Chase City, Virginia. Bev Stamper down from London, Kentucky. Ashley Huff, London, Kentucky. Travis Wilder from Lexington, Kentucky. Lisa Marie Reed, been struggling, had memorial service for the father of my kids Saturday and had to pick up his belongings from the coroner's office today. We'll pray for you, Lisa, man. If you need to talk to me or my wife, send us a message. You're not alone. We're here, man. Robert Ladnier, Goober in the house. I see you, Goober. Tabitha Barrett, Recovery, Montgomery County. Her and Tony Barrett, man, good people. My wife, 12815, Richmond, Kentucky. If you're a newcomer, welcome. If you've been here since day one, welcome. I love you. We got Tim Skaggs in here, man, all the way from Campbellsville, Kentucky. Listen, New Year's night from 7 p.m. till midnight till the ball drops, we are having a huge recovery rally in Campbellsville, Kentucky. We got some powerful speakers coming in, including myself, Tony Barrett, Chad Ham from the Isaiah House, Drew Hicks, and Chicago Hope Dealers. So I'll be posting this flyer, through the week until we get up to the time it happens, man. But it should be a good event. Resource tables are welcome. Isaiah House, come on out. Everybody's welcome. Edgewater, Paul Pickett, 217. I love you, Paul. Be easy on them comments tonight, man. Leanne Hoskins, London, Kentucky. Adam Larkin, Get, baby. Check out getlive.com. That's my boy. Amber Henry from London, Kentucky. Toby Lee, Jesse White from Lexington, Hope Center. That's my guy right there. Kayla Holland, Winchester, Kentucky. Let's see, Laura Rogers from Big Hill, Estill County. We love you. Thank you. Charles Ginner, all the way from Virginia. Bill Callahan from Ape Yard, Kentucky. Boy, that's my running territory right there. But listen, get this shirt out, guys. If you don't care, hit that heart button, man. Let's get these shares out. We might be able to reach somebody tonight that's sick and suffering and make that call tonight wanting treatment or sober living, and we got them. But our guy that we got on here tonight, man, we've been friends on Facebook. I interact with a lot of the, recovery treatment facilities, Isaiah House, Lake Cumberland. But I've been friends with this guy, man. I never met him face to face, but I always liked his post, man. And I seen his before mugshot, and to see his post today, he's a walking miracle. But I invited him down to the jail here in Madison County Detention Center, which I run a recovery program on Thursday nights here in the jail. And I invited Robby and this girl down, and I finally heard Robby's story, man. And he's got a powerful story, man. He should not be alive. And, today God's put him in position to be a messenger. And, that's the reason I got him on here, man. I believe in his message. I believe in him, and, he's powerful. But before we get started, man, I just want to personally thank all my supporters, all my followers, man. Without you all, this wouldn't be possible. Without, the shares and all that, man, we wouldn't be reaching the people that we do. And that's our whole purpose here, man, is carry a message to reach people. And Shay Coffee, I see you in here, man. Let's see who else we got in here before I bring him on. But yeah, man, I love you all. We're going to get started with this, man. With that, I'm going to bring on Robby Pearson.
What's up, Mike?
What's going on, big dog, huh?
I got crippled at the ball game earlier, but I'll be all right.
Yeah, that's what when they told me you had a ball game, I said, well, they're going to hurt this old man. You hear me? We ain't young no more, bub. But yeah, I'm grateful to have you on here, man. I was telling a little bit about, we've been friends on Facebook, and, I brought you into the jail here last week, man. And I want to personally thank you for coming into jail, and you have a powerful story, man, and you're a walking miracle for real. And that's what we want to hear tonight, man. Just, let's carry a message of hope. And, it's your platform tonight. Say what you need to say. Talk about whatever you want to talk about. We're free to talk about whatever, but just kind of tell us who you are, your sobriety clean date, and let's get it rolling, bub.
All right, man. Appreciate you having me on here. My name is Robby Pearson. I'm a grateful recovering drug addict. My sobriety date's 5/22/2019, May 22nd, 2019. That's when I surrendered to the disease and to the lifestyle I was living. I was born and raised around Chillicothe, Ohio. Greenfield, Ohio is where I was raised, home of country music legend Johnny Paycheck. Love it. That's hilarious. But I was born in 1976. My mom had me at an early age. She was 16, and she did the best thing she could do for me, and she gave me to my grandparents at an early age. So I was I don't know, man. I was a really good kid with a big heart. I can remember I had everything I wanted. I was spoiled by my grandparents, and I remember at an early age going to baseball practice and seeing some kids that was less fortunate. And I can remember like going home, man, actually crying because I knew those kids didn't have the life that I had, man. So, that's just who I was. Like, I can even remember my brother and sisters, like they didn't have the stuff I had and it hurt me. So that's the kind of heart I had as a kid. But I grew up playing sports, very athletic, football, basketball, baseball. Those are the only three toys I had. So I was kind of popular in school, had a lot of friends. And about the age of 15, I took my first drink of alcohol. And it produced an effect like no other. I was telling you this the other day. I literally did a front flip in my grandparents' living room. It was just that effect, man. Like, I don't know. And immediately I felt at home. Like, it was just comfort. So I took my first drink around 15, started having consequences. I remember about 16 years old, skipping school with my friends. We left school. We went down to Greenfield, Ohio, and went to the cruise through and bought some alcohol. Went and drank all day. Went back to the school. They got in their car and left. We still had some time at school left, so I walked into school because I wanted people to see me drunk for some reason. I wanted people to see me that way, and immediately the art teacher grabbed me up and smelled alcohol in my breath, and I went and sit in the principal's office, and I was waiting on him. I had a can of Cherry Skull back then, and I took the cap off that thing, and I swallowed the whole can, and needless to say, it worked. He didn't smell no alcohol in my breath, but he walked me to my car and checked my vehicle, and I had some St. Ides bottles in there from prior from a prior night, but out. So I got suspended from school, and for 5 days, and immediately I felt that shame and that guilt. And what do I do? Like, this is a pattern of mine throughout my life. I transferred schools the next year, went my senior year to Greenfield. I told everybody is to play basketball for this great coach down there. And that's why I transferred. Really, I had all this shame and this guilt because I felt less than immediately. Like, my peers wasn't getting in trouble. My people on my football team and basketball team, they wasn't getting suspended for stuff like this. They wasn't, doing these things. So I ran down there. I went to my mom's house at the age of 17 with my grandparents' consent. I signed up for the U.S. Marines. I can remember, I went through my senior year, had a lot of friends, made a lot of friends at this new school. I was real familiar with this town anyway. So Had a really successful basketball season that led to a lot of drinking, partying, and I really didn't do no drugs other than I smoked some weed my senior year, and that was about as far as it went. But it came time to the end of the year where it was time for me to get ready to fulfill this commitment to the United States Marines after I graduated. And I had passing grades to graduate, but I couldn't imagine being separated from that lifestyle, from drugs and alcohol. I couldn't imagine that. So the only way I could get out of that was to miss the last 20 days of school. And I can remember that Marine recruiter coming, pulling me out of class, and the look on his face of disgust. And I signed those papers, and I was free. I didn't have to go to the United States Marines because, I missed these days of school. And what that did for me is I didn't get to walk across the stage and graduate with my peers. There again, all this shame and this guilt set in. And what do? I have to put some stuff on it. And that's just, I'm not proud of that. I went and got my GED the next summer. I'm not proud of that, but that's my story, man. And that's what happened. So after high school was over, I didn't have sports no more. I didn't have anything else. And I had this addiction problem though. And now I know it's progressive and it's fatal. And I'm dibbling and dabbling in cocaine, marijuana, Xanax, eventually crack cocaine. And this led through my 20s, led me in and out of jail, man. I've been locked up almost 40 times. I've been to 14 different rehabs, and I've been to 3 different mental institutions. And that's just where my disease took me, man. Around the age of 24, I was at a party and I met this girl, and we did what we did, and I had a little girl out of it, and she was from Tennessee. I had already, at the age of 21, I had overdosed on some cocaine, went to the emergency room. At the time, they charged me with possession of cocaine, just from having it in my system. And me, as already criminally minded at that age, I'm like, I'm going to go to treatment, man. I'm going to outthink this charge. So I went to treatment. I went to Portsmouth to the Marsh House, and I did 90 days there. And I'm in this treatment center with all these old men, and these 40-year-old men. And I can't relate to these people. I just got caught up. I didn't have a problem. I wasn't over there holding my stomach, withdrawing and doing all that. I just got caught up. Yep. I couldn't relate, but I did enough jail time, and by that time that it was real easy for me to do 90 days at a treatment center. So I get out, and I had, every plan to staying clean and sober. I thought, my family's like, hooray, Robby's clean and sober. We're going to buy him a new car. Yeah. And a new car, I had to put some wheels on it. So I get some wheels on it, and I get my buddy. I'm like, look, he doesn't drink or anything. I'm like, let's go to the club. You drive my car, So we go to Cincinnati. Hank Molnex, that's my buddy. That's my best friend. He drove, and he didn't drink or anything. And we're on our way home, and he gets pulled over for swerving. And they run my name, and they throw me out in the ditch, and they hold guns to my head out of felony warrant. And that's what they do in Ohio. And my buddy is freaking out. Like he didn't know what was going on, and I'm used to this stuff already. So they take me in. I got indicted for that possession of cocaine. I went to court, and they seen where I went to treatment, and they let me out on it's called treatment in lieu of conviction. So they let me out, and and then at the age of 24, I have this daughter, and I'm, for 25 years, I'm introduced, at 21 at first treatment center, I'm introduced to recovery, and I know what it kind of looks like. And these people are telling me to do these things, and I'm really wanting to do them, but I'm not wanting to give up self at the time. I'm I'm not like these people. I'm different, man. I'm stronger than that. You know, I'm not the under the bridge type. And so the age of 24, I have this daughter, and I'm trying to get clean again at this time. I go down, I drive down, I bring the crib, bring the presents, all this, all that. I see her the day she is born, and I go home. Right around that time, I lost my grandparents, and these are the people that meant the world to me. So so I got this addiction problem, and it's untreated, and now I got some pain and some trauma mixed in with that, and I put a chip on my shoulder from that time on, man. Like, nobody's gonna tell me nothing. I'm going hard. Like, this is what I'm gonna do. You can't tell me nothing. I'm not gonna listen, period. So numerous jail stints, felonies, um, all this stuff happening. I left this daughter behind. She's in Tennessee. She's better off without me. So cut. I'm in Columbus, Ohio at the time. I think it's around 2005, and I get in this car accident, man. It's hard to talk about. I had some people I loved in this vehicle, um, and I'm a fugitive. I'm on Ohio's Most Wanted at the time. My sister reminded me of that all the time. Do you know that you're on Ohio's Most Wanted? I know. Don't tell nobody. You know what I'm saying? Just keep this quiet.
Right.
But I'm in this. We're drinking, and I'm in this car wreck, and I'm in this head-on collision at 70 miles an hour on, I think it's on Frank Road or somewhere in Columbus, and I got these people that I love in my car, and this girl, and um, I went through the windshield about 40 yards. I landed, and my shoes were underneath the gas pedal, and these people were hurt, man. Like, and I have these felony charges hanging over me in a different county, and I run, man. I run 2 miles to my house barefoot and cut up, and I get to my house, and my roommate calls the ambulance because I'm so beat up, and they put two and two together, man, and it's a blur. Like, it was a real blur. But I woke up in jail, and I don't know if anyone's ever experienced this, but it was terrible, man. I woke up in Franklin County Jail in Columbus, downtown, and I'm literally watching the news to see if anybody died from this car accident. And man, you're talking about empty and lost. Like, um, I, this isn't what I wanted to happen by no means. And then to know that I ran away and didn't check on these people, like, the selfishness in that, like, kept me high for a long time. So they had little proof or none that I was driving. They I had these felony charges down in Highland County. They shipped me down there the next day. I'm down there for like 3 or 4 months. They let me out. Um, um, I'm trying to get clean. I think I might have had even 8 or 9 months clean. I wasn't doing anything. I just wasn't using. And one day I get 5 indictments in the mail. 2 Class Bs, 2 Class Cs, and a Class D, and 2 of them were aggravated. I immediately run. This is how my story with Kentucky comes about. Had my mom take me to Jackson County, Kentucky, where I had some relatives. Boy, you talk about being from nowhere from the country like this, man. Like, I didn't even speak the same language as these people spoke. Like, and the Xanax bars were $12 a piece down there. I was like, I got to get out of here. Like, they took me down there. I ran for about, I think, 3 months down there, and then I migrated to Richmond. I went out to this bar, and I met this girl, and I pretty much took her hostage, man. Like, she had no idea that I'm facing these charges. She had no idea that I'm a drug addict. She had no idea I was on the run. And I move in with her, and I become a stepdad to these kids. And 3 years go by, man. I'm coaching my stepson in baseball with the district judge, Earl Ray Neal from Richmond. Like, he's coaching with me. He's writing me letters of recommendation, and I'm a fugitive from out of state. Like, that's how I manipulated people. And man, I put on this smile, man. And really, I mean, I don't know if anyone can relate being a fugitive on the run and trying to look classy to the public and smile and coaching people's kids and doing all this stuff. But man, that kept me sick, bro. Like, it kept me real sick. And I ran for about 3 years. She eventually became my wife, but my wife had no idea that, you know, that none of this was happening. And one night I'm in Richmond and I'm on a crack binge, and I'm going to go get me another one. And they pull me over. I'm walking. They pull me over and said I look sketchy. I probably did. I'm sure I did. But I know what's about to happen, man. And before you separate me from this drugs, I'm finding this space. I'm creating this space in between me and these police officers, bro. And I'm finding my way out. And I created enough space, and I took off and I ran, man. And I'm not gonna lie, these were heavy set cops, and I smoked them. Like, I ran down to the Richmond Towers or whatever, and they have a privacy fence, bro. And I remember running and planting my foot on the fence and trying to jump up and grab the fence, and I didn't make it. But I had enough time. I backed up and I didn't make it the second time. And by that time, I'm face to face with them. I'm juking them, and they finally tackle me, bro. And they beat me bad. Like, they finally got their hands on me. And you know what? If I'm sure a lot of y'all know what that's like. Quit resisting. They done have me hogtied and handcuffed. I couldn't resist if I wanted to, and they just kept beating me. And I got lodged in Madison County Detention Center, and that's when stuff got real. This woman and these kids, they're learning about who I am, man. For 3 years, they had no idea, and their family, they had no idea. And so I sit there for 9 days, and I'm playing that game on the phone. Baby, I love you. I just stick with me. She come and see me, all this, and put money on my books. I'm eating good. But in the back of my mind, I'm facing like 20 years in prison. And after the 9th day, they came and got me. Faye Winkler came and got me out of my cell. I was in cell 30. And he said, Pearson, roll it up. You're flying out of here today. And I was like, all right, I got my stuff together. I'm walking up to booking, and Jamie Wynn is on the phone. And he said, hey, Faye, put him in the holding cell. I'm on the phone with the pilot, and the pilot is going to be an hour late. And I looked at her and I said, the pilot? And she said, yeah, you're flying out of here today. Like, you're the first inmate we ever had flown out of this jail. And I'm sitting in that holding cell, and I knew that my life was over, man. Like, I'm sitting in this holding cell for an hour, and like all these dreams and ambitions I had, man, were crushed. Like, I just knew, you know, it was over. So they took me out to the airport, and me, you know, I'm blowing this up like I'm Cyrus the damn virus. I'm expecting to get on this 70,000 foot jet, you know, with cages, and they get me out there, and I'm on this little plane, bro. And it's like, I get in it and they take off, and it's like, bzzz. It's about 4 foot long, I think. Then I can remember the pilot was about 80 years old, and the CO from Highland County, he was scared to death. And I'm thinking, man, if I knew how to fly a plane, I would take this thing over. And I'm back there, my commissary, because of course you can't take your commissary from one facility to another, and I knew that, so I'm eating all I can. But we start flying, and we fly over my house, man, and immediately, I love these kids, and I love this lady, and I just knew there was a chance I was never going to see them again, man.
Yes.
All this shame and this guilt, like lying to them and just manipulating to get off the streets and get a place to stay that away from Jackson County. That's how it started, man. So it hurt, man, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a big teddy bear, man. I'll probably cry a few times during this message, but that's okay today, because I'm good with that, because I couldn't show any emotion, and it's okay. So we get up there, and they take me to another facility because I have charges there too, fishing without a license. They figured out that I wasn't my buddy. I gave them my buddy's name because I was on the run, and I remember getting out of that, and I was like, I got to get out of Ohio. And so I went there and faced them little charges. They drug tested me. Of course, I was clean. And then Franklin County came and got me, and I went to Columbus to the workhouse, and it got real, man. It got real. I was facing like 20-some years in prison, and I don't know if anyone's ever been to Franklin County workhouse, but that's where I was. And these jails down here aren't nothing like that, man. There's killers up there, and it wasn't easy. I did about 4 months up there, and the whole time, man, I'm just accepting that I'm going to spend a lot of my life in prison, man. Like I just accepted it. And I remember they lowered my bond from $50,000 to $40,000. And I bonded out. My wife my girlfriend at the time and my mom, they got me out of jail. I came down to Kentucky. I was on an out-of-state bond. So I had to call once a week and be like, hey, I'm living here. I'm working here. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And I did that for about 3 weeks. And I remember getting a phone call from my lawyer, and he's like, hey, I just want to tell you, man, your case has been dismissed, all of them. And, but what does somebody with an addiction problem that's untreated do, man? I immediately found some Xanaxes. Like that was, I got, because I learned that I don't process feelings and emotions like other people. Like if I'm too happy, I got to put something on it. If I'm too sad, I got to put some. There was never a feeling or an emotion that I was okay with, man, and that's crazy. Like, it's just crazy. Somebody told me one time, the stuff that we swallow don't digest, and I get that now. Like, so I'm free now. Like all this stuff, I'm free of, man, except. Years and years of shame and guilt from this daughter I left, and I still got all this, untreated alcoholism and drug addiction. And so, immediately got married. That's going to fix me. I got a wife. I got to be a husband and a stepdad. Like I'm going to, it's going to make everything better if I have that title, husband, and I did good for a while. I mean, it wasn't from lack of love. It was just untreated addiction, man. So around 2016, things got real bad. I ended up getting hooked up on crystal meth. And man, you're talking about, I tell people all the time, like if there's a drug that the devil made with his own hands, it's crystal meth. Like the most demonic stuff. I'm chasing people around my house, man, telling my kids that there's people living in my house, like, scaring them to death, man. And my wife had enough. And so I went to this treatment center down here in London at the Baymont Inn. They had a wing of the hotel that they reserved as a treatment center. It was Dr. Manjardo, the lieutenant governor. He had a treatment center there. It's called Life Corps. And, I love this part of my story because I had some people from down here that I go to church there now, from Grace Abounding Church, Chad Creech and Chris Stanley. And all these guys come in and they visited the rehab and they sang songs and they invited me to church. And I can remember for the first time being in a church and feeling like it was okay that I was who I was, but I was at this church because the pastor told me I was on drugs, man. And 2016, I remember going to the altar and crying my eyes out, man. Like the pastor said that God took this away from him. And I was like, man, if he can do that for him, he can do that for me, right? So I went and I finished up my treatment there. I stayed in touch with these church people and I stayed sober. I ended up starting a business, a roofing business, siding business. And man, I was probably making like $5,000 a week, but I wasn't. I went through 21 days of treatment, and my treatment looked like this. At about 12 days into treatment, I'm chasing the nurse down the hallway at 3 a.m. in the morning in my boxer shorts, telling her I'm going to rob the damn pharmacy if you don't give me a Suboxone. So you can imagine that was about 12 days into my treatment. So I spent 21 days there. You can imagine how much I got out of that. But I had this wife and these kids, so I was able to stay sober maybe 7 or 8 months, maybe, and start this business. And God was blessing me, man. But all these people was patting me on the back and telling me, "Hey, man, you're doing great. You're doing great." And I started believing that, man. Like I didn't really know what God's mercy and grace looked like then. I just knew that I was sober and I was healthy and I was making money. I was providing some stuff I ain't done. And so I liked them pats on the back, man. And I loved all that recognition. And needless to say, about 7 months clean, I thought it'd be a good idea to do a line of crystal meth. And immediately, I got all this money saved up. It's around February. I got 5 or 6 guys working for me. No, it's around November. And immediately my wife knows something's going on. We go on vacation. She tries to talk to me like, and I'm on heroin the whole time we're on vacation, leaving, all the recreational stuff we were doing, going to running, sprinting to the hotel room to do me a line of heroin and to come back. Like, man. And the whole time she was just trying to get me away because people don't know how to love this, I see it so much, man. Like people don't know how to love us that never experienced addiction. They want to buy us stuff. They want to treat us to stuff. They want, if I give you this, things are going to be better. No, man. No, it's not. So I tell all my coworkers, the guys working for me, I'm like, look, would you guys, it's getting cold out here. I don't want to be on a roof. Would you guys rather sell dope and through the winter, and we'll just do that business instead? And they were like, yeah, let's do that. So monkeys can't sell bananas, and I'm a monkey. And literally it with having a lot of money at the time and vehicles and stuff, it took a while for me to hit bottom because it took a long time to sell all of my vehicles and this and that. But finally around 2017, my wife had enough, and my buddy signed on 5 years, and he was wanting me to take him to Florida to run. And I'm like, yeah, man, I need to get these Xanaxes first. So I remember getting like 40, 60 footballs, and I took them, probably all of them, man. And I don't remember much. I woke up in Sebring, Florida, and I was in a hospital. and I had these tubes and these things on my chest, and I'm ripping them out of my mouth and off my chest. And immediately they slam me down. They shoot me in the rear end with Halidol. And I remember being out for like 12 hours. And I woke back up and I went combative again. And I remember them wrestling with me and shooting me again. And I remember waking up the third time. And I was so tired. I was so hungry and I was so beaten that I was like, look, what's going on? I'm ready to listen. And they was like, look, man, we found you dead. Like, we found every drug known to man in your system. And we have in Florida what's called a Baker Act. And you're being Baker Acted. So you're going to have to go to a mental hospital to be evaluated for anywhere from 3 to 7 days, I think. And I'm like, no, I'm not having it. No, I don't know no Bakers. I don't belong. I don't live in Florida, and you're not Baker acting me. And my buddy was like, look, man, they're about to do something with you. You're going to, you're going to go to jail. Something's going to happen. So he slid me a Suboxone. I remember that. And I was like, all right, look, I'll go do this time in this mental institution. And the closest one was 3 hours away in Fort Lauderdale. And I'll never forget this trip, man. Um, I got in the back of um, um, this emergency squad, and it was beautiful. And I had a 3 hour trip, and I'm just looking out the back glass out of this bed that they had me laying in the back of the emergency squad. And I can remember just thinking, man, what's happened to my life? Like, this is what wasn't supposed to happen to me, man. I had dreams, I had goals, and this wasn't a part of my plan. And man, they got me down to Fort Lauderdale to this mental institution, and I'm in there, and this place is huge, and I'm looking around, and all these crazy people's in there. And I'm thinking, man, I'm one of these people, man.
Yes.
I'm one of these people, and as much as I, you know, didn't want to admit it, I was. And I can remember after about 3 days of being there, I remember, man, you can eat really good there. That's all I remember. I ate everyone's tray, but they they, they had me see this doctor, and for the first time in my life, um, I looked at the doctor and I said, "Look, man, I don't think I'm crazy. I'm a drug addict." And for the first time in my life, I was able to identify as that. And so I'm 18 hours away from home, 16, something like that. My mom gets a phone call. They found me dead. My wife gets a phone call. They found me dead. All these people's worried about me, wondering what's going on. And I spent like 5 days at that mental institution. They let me out. My buddy come to get me. And this is where, powerlessness, an example. When they found me dead, I must have been dead, because on the way back, I'm telling my buddy, I'm like, I don't remember getting charged with anything. And he said, what are you talking about? And I said, well, I know I had some dope in my pocket and my coat. And he's like, you're crazy, bro. You're crazy. I'm like, well, they left my clothes at the hospital in Sebring. So we're going back to Sebring. I'm like, take me there so I can get my stuff. And I go back to the original hospital I was at, and they give me my clothes, and I reach in. The first thing I do is reach in that zipper pocket, and I pull out, an 8-ball of meth and an 8-ball of crack. And I swore to God that I wasn't going to touch this. This is going to be my way to get back home. And I ended up, man, spending 15 more days in Florida trying to find my vehicle. I finally found it. When I located, I got in, I took off driving. The wheel fell off from all the stuff I was running into the night, that they found me dead. And so there I am with this busted down vehicle, and I find this guy. He's a church guy, a Hispanic guy. He fixes my vehicle, takes me to church on a Sunday, and they fill up my tank with gas. And they send me home, and I'm driving home, and he's like, if you make it to Valdosta, Georgia, here's a Church of Christ card. Stop and at one of these churches, we have plenty there, and somebody will help you, with some more gas or whatever. So, I end up stopping, and I found one, and it was the All Black Church of Christ in Valdosta, Georgia. And I remember going up and knocking on the door and being like, hey man, they told me to come here. And I remember getting baptized, man. This was just because I needed gas money. And I remember the water being so cold, bro. And I know they was laughing at me. And I mean, I'm like, man, I literally just got baptized for $10 of gas money. And but this stuff was like, I tell people, like, I have accepted these kind of things, man, in my life, because the addicted life becomes normal. All this chaos is normal. Like, this stuff just happens. I'm supposed to be getting baptized for $10 and for gas money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to get home. Why wouldn't I let them dunk me? You know what I'm saying? So I had a V8, and I made it about another exit up, man. And I remember running in this church family, and they took me to the Waffle House to eat. They filled up my gas tank, and I met my pastor, Chad Creech, in Knoxville, Tennessee the next day, and we ate lunch. And he filled up my gas tank, and I made it back home. And I went to treatment the next day, and you think I'd had enough, man. But I stayed 3 days, and I got in a fight there, and I left. So at this time, I got back with that vehicle, and the people that owned the vehicle wanted it back because I hadn't been paying on it. So now I'm without a vehicle. I'm pretty much homeless. My wife had done, I'm not allowed there. And now I start putting a needle in my arm, man. And, man, I'm finding myself in these hotel rooms and around these people that I never in my life imagined I would be around. But I had to do what I had to do. And I can remember, I've always been good at getting clean. I got to a sober living house in Lexington, and I can remember getting clean and getting, I didn't have a license for 18 years. I had 5 DUIs. So this whole time from my 25 years old to, the time I got sober, I didn't have a license, but I would always get to sober living. I would work and get me a vehicle and put it in some chick's name or, somebody's name. And I'd get my clothes back and get a couple pair of Jordans. That's what we do. And I'll be shining, baby. I'm ready, So I did that, and I had about 4 months clean, and I took off and put a needle back in my arm, and I took off to Ohio in my Firebird. And this is my last hoorah right here. I ended up running around with my cousin, and I went to Dayton, Ohio, and I got 50 Xanax bars. And also I had my cousin stop at 3 a.m. in Dayton at this house. And I can remember walking up to these people and being like, hey, man, I need to cop some dope. And I can remember a shotgun instantly being put to my head. And my cousin, I can hear her screaming from the vehicle. And I literally turn around and I'm like, shut up. What are you doing? You're going to get me killed. You know what I mean? And they walked me behind this fence and walked me into this bar, into the basement. And they hold this shotgun to my head to make sure I wasn't the police. And they checked me, and they took my money, and they gave me my dope, and they sent me on my way. And I got in the car, and I remember screaming at her and her little boyfriend. And I'm like, what are y'all thinking, acting like that, man? This is what's supposed to happen, And man, that's not what's supposed to happen, man. Um, you know, it's crazy that we accept that as being a part of life, a part of living. Like the addicted life just becomes so normal, and the chaos becomes so normal, and the jails and the institutions and all that stuff is just so normal, man. And I remember the next 3 days, I must have taken all these Xanax bars because and I was so bad off. Like I remember I had a pocket full of dope, and my buddy, I'm like, "Get in, bro, let's go." And he's like, "No, I'm not going nowhere with you. You're going to jail." And I'm like, "No, you're crazy, bro. I ain't going to jail." And the next thing I remember, I'm walking around Chillicothe, Ohio, and I come to, and I reach in my pockets, and I'm looking for my phone, I'm looking for my wallet, I'm looking for my car keys, and I have none of them. I reach in my back left pocket, and I pull out release forms from the county jail, the Ross County Jail. I had been to jail and released in a complete blackout, and I knew I'm used to this game. I know my car's impounded, and so I'm walking around. Go to the O'Reilly's or AutoZone or somewhere, and I have them let me use the phone. I call my mom. I'm like, "Mom, look, I've been to jail. Come and get me. I'm in Chillicothe, about 30 miles away." And my mom says no. For the first time in my life, my mom says, "No, I'm not coming to get you." And I'm like, "What?" You know what I mean? And I literally walk around for about 10 more hours, man, and I'm hungry. It's getting cold. It's May the 20th, 2019, and um, I'm walking around, man, and I'm lost. Like, this is my bottom. I have nowhere to go. I'm homeless. Um, anything that anything that meant anything to me at all was not in my life and didn't want to be in my life. And I remember about 10 o'clock that night, I called my mom again. I'm like, "Look, Mom, I'm hungry. I'm cold. I'm tired. Please come and get me." And my niece was there, and my niece, I feel like my niece influenced my mom to come and get me. And she came and got me, and she's like, "Look, I'm coming on one condition, and that's you're going to come here, and we're going to find you help, and you're going to go." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And I wasn't sold on the idea. I've been to so many rehabs. I just wanted to get out of the cold, and I wanted something to eat. And I sit there and I detox, man, hard. Xanax is no joke coming off of them. I've been hospitalized a few times, 5 or 6 days at a time. I've been, had to be hospitalized over this. And um, so I get there and I'm on the couch, man, I'm broken. I remember I couldn't even talk without crying. And I'm looking at all these people that love me, and I'm lost.
Yep.
And they're making these phone calls.
Yep.
And my mom said, "We found a place that'll take you, and we're leaving tomorrow." So um, I asked her where, and it was the Isaiah House. And I'd never been there, but I knew I had to do something. I wasn't allowed to stay there. That was all dead, and all that stuff was dead. That wasn't buying no more of my lies. And um, so May 22nd, my mom drove me down to uh, Willisburg, Kentucky, and I remember I was still detoxing and sleeping and in and out. And she woke me up and she said, "We're 3 minutes away from where you're going." And I wake up and I look out, and I don't see nothing but fields and cows and Amish people. I'm like, "We're not 3 minutes away from where I'm going." She said, "Yeah, we are." And I knew I had to go. And we pulled up to the Isaiah House, and it looked like an institution to me. All these people running around, and I immediately noticed the softball field and all these people smiling and running around, man. And
Come on.
they walked me in that door, and immediately people started loving on me. What can I do for you? How can I help you? Let me grab this, man. Let me help you to your bed. Let me do this. Let me do that. And I don't know, but it's been a long time since anybody was loving on me, man. It had been a long time. So immediately that was special to me. That meant something to me. And it's still that way today. There, when I walk in them doors, I feel that. And so my first week, they took me over to the chaplain facility, and they literally had 3 guys stay up with flashlights over top of me at night to make sure I wasn't going to swallow my tongue or seize out. And I didn't know this till later on that they even did that. But that's the kind of love and the kind of brotherhood that goes on at that facility, man. And that's why I love that place. But I can remember at about 10 days in, I was like, man, I've got to figure this out, man. Like, I had enough treatment. I knew that it wasn't the drink or the drug that was the problem, man. I knew that there was a whole lot of, there was some stuff from, my childhood, and I figured it out. Like, I always felt different because my friends had moms and dads, and I had my grandparents, like that. That made me different, and I felt weird because of it. To this day, I don't know my dad, and that's okay. But I was too prideful to ever let anyone know that bothered me. And I lived 25 years in hell because of that, man.
Yes.
Sick because of that. But I can remember about 10 days in, I'm like, I was so broken and I was so desperate. I would go to the shower at night because I had been so hardened by life and been so many jails and institutions. And I would literally go to the shower, man, and I would cry my eyes out to God. And I begged him, Lord, take this from me, man. Take this shit from me. I can't do this anymore. It's bigger than I am. And I did that because I didn't want nobody else to see me cry, man. I didn't want no one to see me cry. And I did this about 3 days in a row. I can remember, but I really, in my heart, believe it was that intimate moment, even in the shower, begging God to do this for me, man. It was those intimate moments that set me free, because I can honestly say from them days forward, I've not once thought it'd be a good idea to put a drink or a drug in my body. Not even the thought has crossed my mind. And that's a true miracle, man. Like, I thought I was going to be the one that struggled, and I don't do 12 steps. And I thought I was always going to have to go to these meetings and say I'm this and I'm that. And I have nothing against 12 steps. It saved a ton of my buddies. Like, I'm one of these people that I'm very open-minded about recovery. If you have to take Suboxone and your life is better, that's okay, man. Like, that's you. I don't have time to sit here and critique somebody else's recovery, because I have to, work on myself. And whatever makes you a better person, man, whatever makes you a better member of society, I'm all for it. If this is keeping you from putting a needle in your arm and keeping your family happy, man, then keep doing it. Whatever works for you. And I'm still open-minded to that. I can't put anything in my body You know, I'm abstinent from everything. I can't put anything in my body without creating a list of charges or hospital bills. So, but okay. So then I you know, I started. I felt set free. So then I dig deep into the Bible, and I had all this free time. So what I did, I don't read well and I don't comprehend well, but I remember people telling me, you know, the book of Proverbs, man, teaches on wisdom, knowledge, self-discipline, and understanding. And I'm like, man, I lack every bit of that, especially self-discipline. And um, at, you know, at an early age, I was a spoiled kid, and I had anything I wanted, my grandparents bought me. And I learned that I struggled with authority issues because of this. Like, you can't tell me no. And literally, I've been tased a couple times. I've been put in a restraint chair and with a spit mask on. And the other night, we got to meet one of the guys that tased me, and man, it was a blessing to go back there and share some hope, man. But you know, that's just how I was before you took me away from drugs or alcohol. Like, we're gonna have to do, you know, you're gonna have to earn that. And they tased me, and it worked. The taser works, I promise. But you know, I struggle with all this stuff, to self-discipline. So what I would do is I would read a chapter of Proverbs every day, and I would write it out. And I got my book in there, man. I wrote the whole book of Proverbs and 190 some books of Psalm while I was in treatment. And that's what I did for accountability for myself. I don't even know if anyone knew that I did that while I was there, but and I can't tell you nothing about that, but I knew in my heart that God was going to give me some understanding. God was going to bless that, man. And so I remember about 100 days clean and sober in treatment. I got a job there. They let me work. I made $7.25 an hour. I worked 14 hours a day. I got paid for 8. They gave me $20 a week and kept the rest. And I'm like, what is going on, man? Like, I didn't understand it, but I finally submitted to authority, man. I was like, this has got to be part of the process. You know what I'm saying? Like, this has got to be, I just trusted it's going to work because it's something other than my way. My way has never worked. So I did that, and I ended up a couple months later going to sober living there at the Isaiah House, and they got me a factory job where I made a little bit more money. I made like $14.25 an hour driving a forklift on third shift. And what I did there was, we have an amazing case management team at our facility. They helped me pinpoint. I had so many fines and stuff scattered out through Ohio and Kentucky. I had no idea where they even were. I just had abandoned them, and they helped me pinpoint these. So I would go to work, and I would put, you know, I would take enough money out of my check to buy enough tobacco and enough food to get me through for 2 weeks, and then the rest went. I gave the case management, and they would pay my fines off. And at about 7 months clean and sober, man, here I am taking my driver's test, man. I hadn't had my license in 18 years, bro. And I tell you what, man, I took my permit test. I had it for a month. I studied like a monster on that. And I'm like, the driver's test, it's all good. I've been driving for 18 years without a license. I'm good. And I failed my driver's test. I remember the lady told me, she said, go up here and do a turnabout. And I looked at her. I said, what's that? She said, turn around and we'll figure it out. So I Googled it. I learned it. The next Friday came, man, and I got my license. And, man, you're talking about some freedom, man. I literally sat and bawled my eyes out. Like, because I knew that God was giving me some strength and some courage that I never had. I wasn't in sober living no more, buying Jordans and cologne to go to the meetings on Friday night. You know what I mean? I was taking care of me. And, you know, I had buddies that went through treatment with me, and I still do, but I never followed no one there. I followed what I wanted to do there. I didn't come to treatment with these people, and I wasn't leaving with them. So I just focused on me and did me while I was there. So right after I got my license, I started working on my credit, and I'm in treatment, getting a credit card to build my credit, man. And 11 months came along. I've transitioned. I'm still in the program, but we have what's continuance of care, COC. I went to Lexington to a sober living house, took a job making about $18 an hour. And I still went back to the Isaiah House once a month to drug test and be held accountable till I graduated. And I literally had my own apartment before I graduated treatment. And that was I know that don't sound like much to normal people, but man, like, God had given me some strength, man, some courage, and I'm not confused about that, because I never held the power to do these things, man. Once I laid it in His hands, and I started making uncomfortable decisions, like I started going against what I knew, and it was uncomfortable as hell, because I don't know about you, but I do 28 days of treatment. I'm going to sober living somewhere. I'm getting me a car. I'm getting me a girlfriend, and I'm, you know, and some Jordans. That's what I'm doing, and a Nokia phone. You know what I mean? And that's all right. But I went against all that this time. I stayed my ass in treatment for 11 months, and I sit still. And I got to be the lead speaker at my graduation, man, and it meant a lot to me. Like that certificate I got in there by my bed means more to me than anything. Without that, I wouldn't have the life I have, and I know that. And I know that it was God that saved me, but it's the program at the Isaiah House and the people that love me back to life. They love me and love myself, man. And obviously they seen something in me later on. So I graduate. I'm about 15 months clean, and I'm going back to my hometown, Ohio. I took a job, get up there, and my transmission goes out of my car on a Saturday. I'm supposed to start work on Monday. My mom picks me up on the side of the road, and she's like, "Oh, we need to do this. You need to go buy here, pay here, do this." And I'm like, "Take me home, because I'm not going to act on emotion today." And I went home. I thought about it, and I'm like, I'm going to call this credit card company, man. I've been having this little credit card for, 7 months now. I'm going to ask them what kind of, if I can get a car loan. I called them, and they immediately approved me of a $30,000 car loan, man. And I can remember, I want to tell you this, because I started that job, and I couldn't get my car until I had my first pay stub, which is 2 weeks later. And I'm getting this phone call when my car breaks down. It's from a girl that I went to high school with, and I can remember going home that night and saying, "Look, I'm sorry I couldn't talk to you. I've been having some had some car trouble and this and this and that." And I was like, the transmission went on my car, and she's like, "Look, I'm in Florida for the winter, but I have a 2018 Tahoe out at the house, down the road. If you want to use it, you're more than welcome." And I'm like, I questioned her, bro, for 45 minutes. I'm like, "No, are you sure? Like, is this real?" Like, and I can remember her telling me, "Look, you're not used to people helping you, are you?"
No.
At that point, it hit me like, no, man. Everything I've done up to this point, I've done by myself, and So I learned to accept help that day. Like, I remember my mom picked me up. I went out there. They gave me the code to the gate because they have a really nice farm. And I pressed that gate code and it opened up. I was really amazed that happened. And I got in that truck, man. I drove that truck for 2 weeks. And man, that people started putting some faith in me, man. And I didn't let them down. I wasn't scared of letting them down, but I didn't know how to accept help. And I didn't know how to accept people being nice to me. So 2 weeks went by and I went, and my buddy's like, your car's here. Let's come bring your paycheck stub up here and let's get it. And I had my mom take me up there, and I told my mom, like, she's like, all right, we're going to drop you off and we're going to get back. And I'm like, no, you're going to sit here because I don't think they're really going to give me this car. Like, I really don't think that's going to happen. So I get up there, man, and I sign the papers, and it's in my name and not some girl's name. And it's my license and all this and my credit. And, I'm driving home, and I had to pull over. I'm a crybaby, man. Like, it just hit me. Like, I can't believe this stuff is happening in my life. I was the person that was supposed to die from this stuff, man, and I'm not confused about that. The positions I put myself in, and so sometimes I get overwhelmed with God's grace and God's mercy, and I know it's okay to sit and cry about it. Like, it's all right, man. I think God likes that stuff for real. So I have about 15 months clean. I start really opening up on Facebook about who I am, what I am, sharing personal stories, relating to a lot of people. People start reaching out to me for help. I'm placing people in treatment from a forklift in Ohio. I'm placing them at the Isaiah House. About 2 years clean, I get a phone call from Mark LaPalm, and
he's on here right now,
and a text message, and said, hey, bro, you want to come back home? And I said, are you serious? Like this is my dream, man. I've always wanted to help people, man. I've had that heart for that my whole life. I just haven't been able to get clean and sober to produce that. So I was like, yeah. So we figured out, the details on it, and literally May the 3rd, I'm starting my position at the Isaiah House, and we really didn't know what I was going to do down there, and we kind of winged it, and I was okay with it, and I just kind of fell into a position where I do some outreach work down there, and man, it's been a blessing. I use all my past and all these places that I've been to. I create relationships with the public, that people that see addiction on a daily basis, and I tell them my story, and immediately they're like, yes, we want to use you. Like, it's really not, it's really just all natural. Like, I don't have to lie about nothing. I went through the whole program. No one ever had to train me on how to sell this. Like, it was just natural. So people see that, and they're like, I worked with probation and parole down here in Laurel County and Knox County and Jackson County. And the lady she's like, I will never use anybody else but you. Like, she see my before and after pictures, and she's like, oh God, this place has to work. So, really just kind of, I really think, like, being transparent, man, was something I never thought I'd be able to do. And by being transparent, and I'm not anonymous, and I feel like I can help more people, a larger group of people, by not being anonymous. Mm-hmm. So today, that's what I do. I work for the Isaiah House, and I'm a client care navigator. And if any of y'all are listening, and you have anyone struggling and needing help, man, I'll come and get you where you're at. I'll personally come in my vehicle and we'll get you a bed and treatment. And, we'll get you safe, man, and off the streets. So don't be afraid to use my phone number or message me or whatever. So about 3 months ago, I'm at a softball game. I'm playing with all my Isaiah House brothers, and we're in between games, man. And I told you about this daughter I had, and I get this friend request.
It's powerful right here, man.
I get this friend request from Robby Pearson, and really, I know exactly who this is. I signed her birth certificate. So I'm looking at her profile. And while I'm looking at her profile, she sends me a picture of me holding her in the hospital the day she was born. And she said, "Are you the man in this picture?" And all this fear came upon me, and I wanted to run. I wanted to do all, but I knew that's not what was going to happen, because I'm living different. And I immediately said, "Yes, I'm your dad, and this is my phone number." She immediately called me. We're on the phone and we're bawling, crying. Like, I thought this little girl was going to say some foul stuff to me. I'm not going to lie. Like, I deserved every bit of it. I literally been absent from her life, her whole life. And we talked for about 10 minutes, and she said, "Look, I want to come see you." Like, I said, "I want to see you too." And she said, "No, I want to come right now." And she left Knoxville, Tennessee, and came to Lebanon, Kentucky, and came there around 10 o'clock at night. For the first time since my daughter was born, I got to hold her. And really, this was the only amends left I had to make. I had cleaned up the wreckage of my past in every area of my life but this. And I just thought, man, she's better off without me. And all she wanted was her dad in her life. And she came and visited me. She left that night. The next weekend, I stayed the weekend with her in Knoxville. We went to Pigeon Forge one day, and we went, did all kind of indoor zip lining. We caught COVID together. But man, just by doing the next right thing, God has overwhelmed me with a life that if you were to ask me, when I first got sober, I just wanted to be free of alcohol and drug addiction, man. I just wanted a life that I didn't struggle with. And,
yes.
And man, I have this job that people believe in me. They're just like, here's this car, go help people, man. And they trust me to do that. And I have this daughter in my life, and 3 weeks ago, she got to come up, and we went to Ohio. And for the first time in her life, she met her grandmother and her aunts and her uncle and her cousins. It's a struggle. It's I'm not going to lie. It's been a struggle getting to know my daughter, because, she's 20 years old, but I struggle with it. But I know that it happened for a reason, and I'm not going to fail. I'm going to do whatever I can, to make this right. And I got the opportunity to move to London and work this region of the state for the Isaiah House. And they accommodated me based on me being closer to my daughter. I'm an hour and a half away from her now. So if I want to go on Tuesday night after work to take my daughter out to eat, I can. And that's a beautiful thing, man. That's a beautiful thing. Today, like I said, I don't do 12 steps. My recovery is I reach out and I help people. There's not a day that goes by that someone don't call me or ask me an opinion or ask me to help their loved one, and I do it with passion. I don't ever grunt or get upset about it, man, because this is the life that I dreamed of, and now it's reality. So I still struggle with a lot of things, man. I have a hard time letting people into my life and letting people love me because um, I worked so hard to have the life that I have. Like I'm scared to death of letting someone come in and something happen into that, and there's some stuff I got to work on. But I got a lot of stuff to work on, man. But me and God's doing that, and every day that I stay clean and sober, it just gets better. And man, I, I just I just want to encourage anyone, if you're struggling, man, just that. Um, Sometimes I think men, our pride and our ego get in the way. I tell people all the time, like, men are brought up to fix things. So for 25 years, I lived in a prison of my own mind because I was going to fix things. I wasn't going to surrender to anything. But I tell you what, man, the pain was finally enough, and I thought I was going to get sober and I was going to keep my wife, and I was going to, I have two stepkids that I talked to today. Actually, my stepdaughter called me, FaceTimed me today. Oh, another thing. Today I went and refinanced my car, man. Like, I'm saving $170 a month on my payments. Like, I'm doing stuff like I've never in my life, you know. That's not big to a lot of people, but it's big to me.
Oh, it's big.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm approved for a house loan. When I refinanced my car, they approved me for a house loan. Like, man, I was homeless. You know what I'm saying? I was living in hotel rooms that people rented out. I didn't have the money to rent them. I was staying there because I had a little bag. You know what I mean? I was homeless with a needle in my arm with no hope, and my life is completely different today, man. And I swore that if I ever got free of this, that all I would do was help people, and that's all I want to do.
You said it. You said it right there, man. And I don't mean to interrupt you, but we have to help people. Period. Your story, my story, all of our stories, man. And that's why I scream out loud, tell your story, because you've helped me tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like when my son was born, I was ready to pack my stuff, leave Lexington, and go to London where you're at and continue to sell dope. And I had a friend that said, hey, you remember the way you grew up? I said, yeah. He said, you want somebody taking care of your son, a stepdad? I said, no. He said, well, get your panties on and get back upstairs. Talk to me reckless, dude, like reckless.
Yeah.
But I needed that, man. And today I'm a father. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know exactly how you feel. But you're killing the game, dude. You are.
Man.
Listen, real recognizes real, and you're on my team. And you know what I'm saying? You're a miracle walking, dude, for real.
I totally believe that.
You're a miracle walking. You should be dead. I should be dead. But, God's got us here. I'm in Richmond. You're in London. We're on the computer screen, and we're sharing our story, man. And I'm not anonymous. My wife's not anonymous. And I like what you said. I support all. If you're being responsible, taking care of your children, paying your bills, you're not robbing me, you're not kicking in my door or harming my neighbors. I support whatever you're doing, man. But if you try to steal my Suburban, break in my house, harm my family, we're going to have problems. I'm calling the police on you straight up. You know what I mean? But today we see the world different, man. And I can relate to a lot of you, man. Like grown men, we don't let people in. Like my wife, she said she loved me and I was ready to run, dude. I was out.
And, first time I was I was trying to date, and I remember this girl. She called me baby, and I was like, oh no. I said, look, I'm not baby. You know, look, you got the wrong number. I'm
Yeah.
not baby. Like, I mean, I was that scared, but you know, I think another pivotal point in my sobriety was when just losing my wife, getting sober and thinking I'm entitled to this. Like, I'm supposed to have this back. This comes back to me. This wife and these children come back to me, and I'm entitled to that. And that didn't happen for me, man. But I found I wanted to stay sober more, and I wanted to get high.
Mm-hmm.
And I found a way, and it was okay. Like, we got divorced 2 weeks ago on a Monday. On Wednesday, I'm eating dinner with her, man. Like, that's a God thing, because I was never grown up enough to do some stuff like that.
No.
You know, and my little girl, my stepdaughter, called me today, FaceTime me. I'm refinancing my vehicle, and she's like, look, she's at her little job in Richmond, and she's like, look, I got this girl I work with, and her daughter needs help.
Yep.
And I'm like, look at this, man. That's beautiful. Like,
Yep.
And I told her, I said, I love your heart. Like, and she knows, like, there was a time in her life where she had no faith in me whatsoever of ever cleaning up. And today, you know, she tells me she's proud of me and loves me. And now she's reaching out and trying to help people get sober. Like, and she's like, look, I told her about the Isaiah house. They need to go there.
Yeah. And that's what it's about, man. We got to be the shining in the community, man. You know, and that's what I am here in Madison County. And, you know, what's crazy is I'm in your hometown. You're in my hometown. You know, that's what's wild, man. But we got a few more minutes here, man. It's 10:30 at night. My wife's in here, but I just want to personally thank you for your story, because it's real. I know it's real. I felt it tonight. And, you know, anything I can help you with, you know, I'm a father, and I learn every day, dude. Being responsible, you know, just the everyday life of a man. You know, I'll keep it on me and you. Just being a man, being the breadwinner, or the just being responsible, man. I have my bad days. I have a couple bad days, man. I pray 100 times a day. You know, then my wife will come home and I'll say something smart out the side of my neck, and I'm out here in the doghouse. But, you know, keep telling your story. Like I told you at the jail, man, you touched me at the jail, and I said, man, I got you. Your story needs to be out there, man, for real. And I'm going to do everything in my power. And I got some connections to get your story out there, because, you know, you have a story that helps a lot of people. I don't care all the naysayers, the haters, the blockers, the whatever you want to call them. Well, Robby, why you do this? Robby, wait, listen. Mike St. John's telling you, Robby, tonight, keep doing what you're doing, but turn it up a few notches.
Amen.
Because, you know, you're a walking miracle, and you need to be telling people what God's done in your life, man.
Yeah, I try to. I love, like, my job is amazing, because I get to, you know, I get to get people into treatment, but they let me make it as personable as I want to. Like, I know when someone calls me and they need help, like, I know from experience, I got a short time to get to this person.
Yes.
You know, so I'm like, okay, where are you at, man? If we got a bed, I'm going to come get you right now. So I come get them, and usually it's an hour or two ride from wherever I am to the Isaiah house. And I get to tell that story. And then, you know, working out of London and living down here, I go up to the Isaiah house at least once or twice a week now. And I check on these guys, man. And it was crazy. The other day, I walked in the front door, and there's just something special about that front door, man. And I'm bombarded, and I look around, man, and there's 7 guys that I placed in treatment, and they're all just hugging me and telling me what's going on, man. And I get to go up there and just spend a day with them every now and then, and not only that, I get to speak. Like, I'm making it personal. Like, I let their family know, look, I talked to so and so, and man, that's rewarding. Like, hearing somebody's mother. Like, I'll take a picture with them and send it to them. They're like, man, my son, he looks, you know, it's just something about it. Like, it's more, my job's more to me than just placing somebody in a treatment.
Yes, yes. Listen, anybody I put in treatment, I call and check on them if I don't go see them. Like, I went to ARC, and then I stopped by Isaiah house the night I was out of town and seen a dude that, but you know, that's what I do. I call and check in with them. I call either go see them. I just don't place people in treatment. Like, no, my heart's bigger than that. You hear me? I want to see you shining. I'm going to come and see you shine, and I'm going to come and walk with you. But listen, man, I love you. I'm proud of you, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep telling your story, man. Anything I can do to help you, I'm here. And likewise, man, you're never alone, dude. Keep telling your story.
I love you too, bro. And I appreciate you having me on here. And I definitely appreciate you having me at that jail, man. That meant a lot to me. It really did. Just walking around there freely and just pulling my friends out of the cell. Like, I mean,
that's God.
It was crazy.
You
and
know,
that
they believe in me, man. And, you know, they said, and, you know, I'm nobody special, but I got a message, but I got a lot of people behind me that's got a message too. And, you know, that's what we get to do today. But listen, I love you, man. If you need me, holler at me, man. And I'm proud of you. You hear me?
I love you too. Thanks for having me on, bro.
See you, Bob.
Night.
Powerful message tonight, guys. If you missed it, man, go back and recap this message. That's Robby Pearson. He works for the Isaiah House. You can get his number, you know, hit him up on Facebook, Messenger. You know, he's the real deal, man. And he just expressed it tonight, man. You know, God gave us tears for a reason. And, you know, I cry. I'm 42 years old and I cry all the time. But, you know, Robby should be dead. I should be dead. And a lot of y'all should be dead, man. But, you know, God's got a different plan. If you're out there struggling, man, or got a family member struggling, hit me up, hit Robby up, hit my wife up, man. The holidays are coming up. I understand that. A lot of y'all going to be depressed. You know, a lot of y'all don't have nowhere to go. Our phones are always open. You're never alone, man. And, you know, anything we can do to help, we're here to help. But we're going to close this out tonight, man. Check out Dollar Green, Story About a Boy, his new album. This is the brand new outro that I've got here. Just a powerful message, man. If you know, if that didn't touch your heart tonight, you should go to bed with a big heart tonight, because, you know, I'm at peace, man. And anytime I think I'm struggling or trying to be a father or a husband, and then I just hear Robby's story, man, you know, I'm blessed, only by the grace of God. But listen, I love y'all, man. We're going to close this out. We run an hour and a half tonight. That's powerful, son. That's God, you know. But hit the share button, man. If y'all need help, hit us up. Listen, I love you all. Check this video out.
You ain't got cold chill, something's wrong with you. Gotta know it. You in the wrong building. Know where to turn.
I could really use a friend right now. Yeah, I just need a friend. I'm staring at my window pane. I'm staring at my window pane. I could use a friend. I could use a friend. I just need a friend right now. Right now. I'm staring at my window pane.
I'm counting raindrops. Like, where's God at? When will the pain stop? Like, when will this be over? How come I can't stop? I swear to God, I can't stop. I ain't believing God, still I would pray to him. When no one else around, when they brought them trays to him. Like, where my ride or dies, it's like I was dead to him. This is my